Joy Drive, smart fun radio. Theatre, film, TV and more. Suzy Wrong reviews it all on Joy Drive.
Hello, Suzy Wrong.
Hello, Warren. Have you ever shoplifted anything? A piece of candy or a naughty magazine, perhaps?
No, never.
Never, not once.
I was too much of a goody-goody. Never. No. Have you?
A couple of months ago, I lifted a knob of ginger because I was so upset with the self-checkout machine that was being very uncooperative.
Oh, the self-checkout machine. There's cameras on those now. I've accidentally pressed the wrong thing and it's gone, but now they recognise bananas.
Yeah, it was recognizing things in the wrong way and it was giving me all kinds of problems.
Annoying.
So the little knob of ginger was my last item, and I just threw it in the bag and ran away.
Suzy, I have an issue with these self-checkouts. They're meant to make things convenient, but you go to the local Coles near me, and there's gates and all sorts of things. And one day the gate didn't open. It was malfunctioning for some reason. But I felt like a bit of a criminal, embarrassed. Like I just bought something and I'm walking out and this gate hadn't opened. I thought, oh my God, this is a supermarket, for Christ's sake. Just let us out.
Well, and they hire 2 people standing around to help people who have problems with the machines. So they're still employing people for it. Maybe not as many as it used to be. Sometimes it is more convenient, but I do feel like the previous model of just waiting for someone to do your checkout was just easier.
I agree. Look, and this is probably why I go to some of the more independent grocers as much as I can, because I just hate the way that it's all being. I mean, I'm sure shoplifting is a thing and it needs to be addressed. I don't have an issue with that, but kind of how far does it go to where it takes away the pleasure of going to the checkout and doing your shopping? I prefer to select supermarkets that don't have that, to be honest with you. I've noticed a lot of the stores have got it. Kmart's have got it, or Big W's, all of them are getting this sort of, these barriers in place. I mean, it's something like, I feel like I'm going to a bank.
I did think it was really easy to steal a little bit of something.
Did you feel guilty?
Not guilt, but I'm terrified of bad karma. Terrified in a very serious way. So it's not something that I'm prone to doing again. But that day I was just really annoyed because he kept jamming on me.
It's so annoying.
I have to get the girl at the side to help me out. So it got really annoying.
When it keeps going, please place the item in the bag. Well, you buy something like a packet of, paracetamol that doesn't weigh much. I have to throw it in the bag so that the thing registers that something's been put in the bag. Otherwise it says, please place the item in. I have placed it in, for goodness sakes. And if the supermarket's busy and you got to wait and you're in a hurry, you got to wait for someone to come across. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the I didn't mind the self-checkout, but now it's gone too far for me where it's a pain in the bum.
We are so old. We are moaning and groaning like a couple of old queens.
We are. And you know what? The supermarkets need to listen to this, because how far can they take it? Seriously, these gates are ridiculous. It's like, zzz, you're allowed to exit. I'll exit the supermarket. I've paid for my goods. You're not going to entrap me. Honestly, it's so annoying.
Good that you've got the independent shops where you are.
I do, yeah. There are several different IGAs near me, some good ones. And, the other thing is too, I prefer about the independents is, you go to the big ones, the Coles and the Woolworths, and you look, tomato sauce, for example, is a great one, or tomatoes. There's like a whole shelf and you think, oh my God, there's so many tomatoes here. But you look carefully, there's probably 3 different brands. 2 of them are their own. You go to the independents, there might be 15 brands in the same amount of space, but just, one row of each or one column of each brand. I find it much better. I've got more selection. You just look for your prices. I find the way that the majors are manipulating us and cutting down their brands but making it feel like they've got more is just not on. No, I'm over them, Suzy. That's my rant for the day.
Thank you for your rant. Much appreciated.
And also, what happens to the Australian produce, the Australian brands as well? Like, I'm big on stuff that's made here. And, we all know that the big supermarket chains want to make a profit for their shareholders. Anyway. Suzy.
It's good. I think it's good if people try to be a bit more conscientious with how they shop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And support local manufacturers. Suzy, we're talking about something called Big Mistakes, which is on Netflix. Give us your review.
A pair of adult siblings steal a necklace from a thrift shop for their dying grandmother, thinking it was worth only $75, but find out just hours later that what they had taken was actually a 75,000 piece of jewelry owned by a crime gang. Thus begins the story of how a church pastor, Nicholas, and a public school teacher, Morgan, get embroiled with the underbelly of New Jersey and how they get implicated into criminal activity that get both comically and frighteningly more serious as time goes on. The new 8-part Netflix comedy series Big Mistakes, created by and starring Dan Levy of Schitt's Creek fame, is a thoroughly enjoyable caper that delivers a great number of genuine laughs from the get-go, along with gripping drama, culminating with one of the most delicious cliffhangers in recent memory. It may require more than a little suspension of disbelief, but I would suggest that if you were just to go along with some of its more implausible plot points, it all pays off wonderfully. The comedy is very much in the style of Schitt's Creek, so if that's a show you enjoy, I'm most certain that you love Big Mistakes. Just like Schitt's Creek, it's got quirky family dynamics, including a brother-sister combo characterized by constant petty bickering. Plus, there are strong middle-aged women who are as colorful as they are powerful. Laurie Metcalf, who's played Roseanne's sister for decades on TV, if you know, you know, is absolutely brilliant as the siblings' mother, Linda, who decides to run for mayor in the municipal government, showing us that women in the 60s can do a hell of a lot more than what we normally do see on our screens. Dan Levy is a genius. I literally cannot wait for season 2, and I definitely recommend that you check out Big Mistakes on Netflix. Warren, I hope you enjoyed this, at least half of what I did.
Suzy, oh my goodness, I watched the first episode and I had to turn the volume down. I found it so annoying. I really did. The screaming mother the whole time, I was like, oh, please. It was just, everyone was shouting at everyone. I found it unpleasant to watch. And I got to the end of the first episode and I said, I can't watch anymore. This is just a family shouting at each other. Irritating. I didn't like it at all. I said, I am the cranky person today, aren't I? I didn't like it at all. I found it unpleasant.
Did you not see Schitt's Creek when it was popular a few years ago?
I saw bits of Schitt's Creek, but no, I didn't watch the whole lot of it. But this one was just too noisy for me, like just yelling at it. I'm not into that. I just found it stressful, and like I felt my anxiety go up watching it. So did everyone else.
I did think the first couple of episodes was not quite as enjoyable as later. Because it kind of sets up a start. It sets up the kind of the background of what's going to happen later, and it is what happens later that's fun because the two, you know, one's a pastor in a church and one's a school teacher. They get more and more kind of sucked into this criminal world, and there's a lot of drama there. In the beginning, it was just a lot of stupid comedy, but the drama makes it more interesting, but if you can't make it through the first 2 episodes, then you're not going to get to it.
You know, the thing I did love the fact that you picked something, and of course it was available for everyone, you know, who's got Netflix to watch. It was a little bit easier to see. Another message came in saying, "Oh look here, the mother drove me nuts too. I struggled through it." Exactly, I agree. Drove me absolutely nuts. Maybe it's a thing, Suzy. Maybe it's that American sort of humour, comedy, loudness. I don't know. I found it really awful. Not at all.
I thought the mother was the best thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey, different strokes.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I mean, I thought, oh, this will be good. We'll be talking about making mistakes and getting into it, but I just couldn't get through the first episode, Suzy. Are you good at admitting your...
It was interesting to see...
Sorry, go.
Am I good at what?
Admitting your mistakes?
Oh, I'm very good at admitting my own mistakes. I think I might overdo it a little bit. But I think there's, you know, I like admitting that I've done wrong. I feel like it's a responsible thing to do. I'm very good at apologizing. It never used to be back in the day, but I've learned to to get to apology really quick. And I think that's a nice, it's a bit of a virtue to cultivate, and it's worth having. I liked in the story that they got deeper and deeper into the crime. I like that they showed how crime was seductive, and how once you get a taste of it, it's easy to kind of get into this wormhole and dig deeper, and which is the problem that they're encountering. And I can't tell you how wonderful that cliffhanger is at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And next year, hopefully it gets picked up for season 2, and I can't wait to see what happens when they get even more seriously into the crime.
This one here's another one saying, I'm autistic, so the noise and intensity of her was cringe. And this one, oh my God, I hated the first episode for the same reason. Too much screaming. So I'm not the only cranky man at the moment.
One of the benefits of doing this segment on Tuesday is that I have to force myself to watch it.
I know.
To the end, whether I like it or not. And I may have stopped after the first 2 episodes. I'm not sure. But I do know that I kind of persisted, and then I found myself really liking it after the 3rd or 4th episode. So there is some truth in that, the first episode being not so great.
You know what? I just thought of a solution to those of us who couldn't get through the first episode. We're talking about Big Mistakes, which is streaming on Netflix at the moment. Maybe what I should do is just watch the subtitles, turn the volume off for the first 2 episodes. What do you reckon?
They're much better things to do with your life and your time than to sit through bad TV.
Suzy Wrong, love it though that you picked it. What are we watching next week? Oh,
Jim Pa, a new Australian movie, is now available to rent or buy on your favorite streaming platforms. It stars Olivia Colman and John Lithgow, telling a story about a non-binary teenager and their gay grandfather. That's Jim Pa for When I See You next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Suzy Wrong. And another message coming in saying, I'm a cranky woman, and that's okay. We can all be cranky together.
Missed the show?